My name is Jamie Nzita and you're watching News Track coming to you live from our Refill studio. Good afternoon. President Bola Tinubu will join world leaders to address the 81st session of the United Nations General Assembly debate on Wednesday, September 23rd in New York. Tinubu is scheduled as the 10th speaker during the morning session on day 2 of the high-level general debate holding from September 22nd to 28th at the UN headquarters. A provisional list of speakers shows Tinubu will deliver his statement during the morning session. He will join the lineup of 193 world leaders, including over 150 heads of state and government and more than 40 others, including vice presidents, deputy prime ministers, ministers, and other senior government officials. The theme for the General Assembly to be presided over by Khalil Rahman of Bangladesh is Restoring Trust, Managing Transformation, a United Nations that delivers for all. Governor Caleb Mutfwang has called on stakeholders in the training and development sector to prioritize skills development, time management, and local capacity building. The governor started this while declaring open the 33rd Annual Trainers Conference of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development held at the Eliel Center in Jos. Our correspondent reports that the 3-day conference has as theme talent sovereignty, engineering the self-replenishing workforce for national rebirth.
Declaring the event open, Governor Caleb Mutfwang, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the State Samuel Jatau, called for greater emphasis on skills development and time management in Nigeria, saying the country must build capacity to retain talent and deliver quality jobs locally.
Vocational education is a key to solving our unemployment problems in Nigeria. Let's say accept the message that we are ready to partner with you and probably do something, we'll do a collaboration that will bring you here to Plateau State so that we can train a large number of people.
He pledged government's willingness to partner with the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development, describing the event as timely. The governor added that Plateau State is witnessing positive change, with hotel occupancy in just now 90% due to improved security and government policies. President and chairman of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development, James Bulu, said the institute's 33rd conference is a testament to its resilience and commitment to human capital development over 3 decades. Bulu explained that the team is a strategic blueprint for national development.
NATAL acknowledges that no professional institute can thrive in isolation. Building a self-replenishing workforce requires strong networks and knowledge exchange.
Plateau State Head of Service, Stephen Gadons, represented by the Permanent Secretary, General Administration, John Danjuma, said self-replenishing workforce is critical to effective governance and service delivery.
A self-replenishing workforce is therefore one that learns continuously, transfer knowledge across generations, embrace innovation and technology, develop emerging talent, preserve institutional memory, and create opportunity for others to grow and succeed.
Goodwill messages came from dignitaries, including the Director General, Industrial Training Fund, Afis Oluwatoyi in Jos, Joseph Langwa.
The Plateau State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed 3 commissioner nominees. This follows a communication from Governor Caleb Mutfwang for consideration and approval. The exercise was conducted during Tuesday's plenary, presided over by Speaker of the House, Nalong Daniel. Our House of Assembly correspondent has details.
The nominees appeared before the lawmakers for screening, during which members of the Assembly asked questions aimed at assessing their experience and qualifications for appointment as commissioners. The commissioner nominees are Isha Kumaren, Gloria Karuri, and Prince Piafun. Also during plenary, in a matter of urgent public importance raised by a member representing Mangu South constituency, Matu Karpu called for urgent intervention following an attack on communities in Mangu local government area which claimed claimed over 25 lives, resulting to the destructions of houses, farmlands, and store fruit. The lawmaker appealed for a collaborative approach involving government, security agencies, traditional leaders, community representatives, and other stakeholders to address the security challenges and prevent further attacks.
Security forces should always deploy proactive measures in preventing or mitigating unnecessary attacks before they occur.
Some lawmakers expressed concern over the continuous attack on innocent citizens.
To call on or to mandate the local government chairman to call on stakeholders within local government by local government, and in such, and to also extend it word by word. Let's try to find the solution of our problem locally.
Some of these things require visits, physical visits, and some actions to be taken.
Speaker, Plateau State House of Assembly Nanlong Daniel said the House had resolved to send a committee to condole with the affected persons and communities.
Anytime that there is a strong interest, it is better the community identify children and women and find a way of taking them away from those environments to reduce the level of casualties that we are experiencing in this kind of crisis. Because women suffer more and children than the elderly men.
Nanlong Daniel expressed sympathy with the families of those who lost their lives in the attack, assuring them of the Assembly's concern and support. It's been Simi Cholo.
First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called for greater protection of humanitarian workers and stronger global solidarity to effectively respond to conflict, disasters, and other emergencies. Mrs. Tinubu, in her message commemorating the 2026 World Humanitarian Day on Wednesday, also stressed the need to empower local communities to take the lead in developing sustainable responses to humanitarian crises. This year's World Humanitarian Day, marked annually on August 19th, has the theme Strengthening Global Solidarity and Empowering Local Communities. The First Lady paid tribute to humanitarian workers across the world for their sacrifices and commitments to providing assistance to vulnerable people, particularly those affected by conflict and disasters. Mrs. Tinubu said the theme of this year's commemoration underscored the importance of ensuring the safety of aid workers while building stronger international cooperation and enhancing the capacity of communities to respond to emergencies. According to her, sustainable humanitarian interventions required not only global support but also the active involvement and empowerment of communities directly affected by crisis. She urged government, organizations, communities, and individuals to continue to demonstrate compassion towards people facing humanitarian emergencies and uphold the dignity of every human life. Plateau State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice Philemon Daffy has called on the federal government to fast-track the establishment of state police to better protect communities across the state. Daffy made the call during a condolence visit to the palace of the Mishkakam Rof Kumbun district of Mongo local government area over the attack on Binpir community. Our correspondent Simon Swakia was there, and his report is continued from our studio.
A total of 25 people, including the elderly, youth and children, were killed in the attack allegedly carried out by the unknown assailants. Several others also sustained injuries. The attack sparked grief as residents of the community trooped out in large numbers to mourn their departed ones who were killed in the early morning raid. Speaking during the visit, Philemon Daffy said granting approval for state police would help address immediate security challenges and enable quick response to attacks in rural communities. He described the incident as a major setback to the government's investment in security and peace-building efforts across the plateau. The commissioner urged youth in the area not to take the law into their own hands, but to remain law-abiding and cooperate with security agencies.
Security agencies do not take instruction from the governor. They don't, because of the federal arrangement. So sometimes it is cumbersome to operate in a manner that you will find help when there's an emergency. That is why we are calling for state police. Because if there's state police, it can be addressed from a local situation, not from Abuja. Yes. You don't need to call somebody from Abuja to take instruction in roof for what?
Chairman of Mangu Local Government Council, Emmanuel Mopun, who commiserated with the bereaved families, said the people of Mangu are known for peace and hard work.
They don't take instructions from us completely. Most of the time, if you give instruction, they have to clear their headquarters. And a very painful day to us. But we lost 25 people to attack by Fulani militants. It's quite a very, very sad one for us. Before this attack, there have been several attempts to penetrate through our border with Barkinladi and the Bokos, but that has been resisted.
Also speaking, the National President of Mogavu Development Association, Bulus Dabit, and the National President, Mogavu Youth Movement, Jonathan Kesmang, called for calm and restraint among youth.
This is very, very sad, and I'm saddened by what has happened. I'm saddened, and the entire community is saddened by what has happened.
Because the current security architecture is being controlled from the federal level, so of which response to save lives and properties is always minimal.
Some of the injured victims are currently receiving treatment at Nanret Bethel Hospital, Mangu, including a 2-year-old who lost both parents in the attack. Meanwhile, those killed have received a mass burial by the community.
The Chief Judge of Plateau State, David Mann, has described review of the amendment of the High Court rules across the 4 legislative instruments in the state as a major landmark in the annals of the judiciary. Justice Mann stated this while receiving the report of reviewed rules by the committee set up to handle the assignment. Our correspondent was at the Judges' Conference Hall of the High Court venue of the event.
Receiving the reports by the Rules Review Committee on the review of High Court of Plateau State Civil Procedure Rules 2020, District Court Law 1963, District Court Civil Procedure Rules 1963, Area Court Law 1968, and Area Court Civil Procedure Rules 1971, Chief Judge of the State, Justice David Mann, described it as a landmark event in the annals of the judiciary of the state.
From the presentation this morning by the chairman, the Honorable Justice A.I. Ashom, it's very clear that the committee went to great lengths to ensure that the review benefited from inputs from all stakeholders across the board. I'm happy that this was done, and we look forward to a very quick implementation of the recommendations that are contained in this report.
Chairman of the committee, Justice Arum Ashom, who presented the report to the Chief Judge, explained that during the review, the committee observed several provisions and existing laws and rules which have become outdated due to constitutional developments, statutory reforms, and evolving precedents. Justice Ashom added that the committee had made extensive amendments across the 4 legislative instruments, believing that if implemented, will enhance access to justice, improve efficiency in case management, among other benefits.
It is the committee's respectful belief that these reviews, laws and rules will significantly strengthen the administration of justice in Plateau State and provide a modern procedural framework for the effective operation of the district area courts.
The committee prayed the Chief Judge to expediently approve the review laws and rules as well as take further steps necessary for their enactment and implementation. In Jos, Rodkan, Nanfa.
Political parties, presidential and National Assembly candidates have signed the first National Peace Accord on issue-based campaigns ahead of the general elections. pledging to shun violence, hate speech, misinformation, personal attacks, and other conduct capable of undermining the electoral process. The accord was signed in Abuja at a ceremony organized by the National Peace Committee in partnership with the Kuka Center barely 24 hours before the statutory commencement of public campaigns and rallies for the elections. The event brought together the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, political party leaders, presidential candidates, National Assembly candidates, the Inspector General of Police, and representatives of the diplomatic community, among other stakeholders. Those who signed the accord included President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, the Nigerian Democratic Congress presidential candidate Peter Obi, the Social Democratic Party candidate Adewale Adebayo, and his African Action Congress counterpart Omoyele Sowore. Other participants were the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Nantawe Yilwada, the presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party and Labour Party, Donald Duke Chibuzo Okereke, the deputy president of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, the PRP national chairman, Hakim Baba Ahmed, federal and state lawmakers, party leaders, and other candidates. In an effort to address flooding and other disasters before they occur, the Nigerian Red Cross Society and stakeholders have held an awareness and sanitation campaign in some parts of Jos South local government area of Plateau State. Senior Officer Climate Change Nigeria Red Cross Society Sunday Awulu said the exercise is in line with the early warning signal and prediction of heavy rainfall likely to cause flooding in Plateau and other high-prone states. The report.
The awareness and flood campaign organized by the Red Cross Society and its partners took off from the Bukuru Market roundabout to some major parks in Jos South local government area, holding banners and hand flyers with messages such as "Be flood ready, stay safe, avoid flood waters and follow emergency alerts in case of flood incidents." The campaign aims at creating further knowledge on the do's and don'ts to avoid flooding. Senior Officer Climate Change Nigerian Red Cross Society Sunday Awulu said Plateau State is listed as a flood-prone area with high elevated risk.
Plateau State has been captured as a state that will likely to experience a flood this year. So we will not hold our arms to just wait until it comes from down. So that is why we are here.
Communication Coordinator, Red Cross Society Plateau State Branch, Mafin Mark, appealed to citizens to keep their houses, drainages and surroundings clean to avoid flooding.
We are aware of the warning from the government and other agencies. On the Plateau, we will have a lot of flooding. And so far so good,
Chief Search and Rescue Officer, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Jos Operation Office, Nuruddin Musa, said community readiness and support is essential.
Sensitizing the community about the danger of flood and their responsibility. So this is the key message. Flood is inevitable. It's a natural disaster, but it happens as a result of action and inaction.
Ward Head Raul Kakgiel Da John Pojo advised citizens in flood-prone areas to immediately evacuate in order to avoid any form of disaster. Many states in Nigeria, including the FCT, have been ravaged with floods recently. It is hoped that with this campaign, this can be further averted in Plateau State. I am Katlong Gukwat.
And on the foreign scene, Ukraine's popular ex-defense minister Mikhailo Fedorov has called for wartime elections in what is widely seen as the biggest challenge to Volodymyr Zelensky's presidency since Russia's full-scale invasion 4.5 years ago. Since the war broke out in 2022, Ukraine has been under martial law, meaning elections are suspended. Fedorov, who did not mention Zelensky by name in the video, was unexpectedly fired from his role as defense minister last month. Just 6 months after his appointment, Zelensky is yet to respond to the video from Fedorov, whose dismissal sparked protests across the country. About 100 protesters gathered outside the Ukrainian parliament on Wednesday morning chanting, "Bring back Fedorov as Minister of Defense, and we are fed up. We want dialogue." And that is it on News Track. Stay tuned for Global News at 6:30 p.m. and News Update at 10 p.m. But before then, do enjoy the rest of our programs and have a very wonderful afternoon. Thanks for watching.